Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Random Gamer Riven and welcome to tonight's weekday randomised gaming stream. And once again I'll be commentating on this video. So in today's video we've actually got a request from one of our viewers, Blades of Myr, which was Guardians Crusade, and I thought, you know, I haven't played this myself, so I will run through it. Or at least give the first hour a shot. So this is Guardians Crusade. It is a, let me see, PS1 game. It was first released in 1998. It was developed by Tamsoft. It was published by Tamsoft in Japan, and its publisher was Activision in North America and Europe. It was known as Night and Baby in Japan. And actually, it's a really nice Japanese cover art, so there are a few interesting things about it. I've not actually played this much at all, so this is really the first time I'm playing it as well. Visually, I don't think this is the best PS1 game. It's fair to say for a 1998 PS1 game, not the best looking title, but it's always worth playing a game. And as the old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. Although often many people do, and it's still fair to say making sure you have a nice looking cover will sell you copies. Same with video games. No worries, Blades, welcome to the stream. As long as people come along, I don't mind. It's fine, don't worry if you're a little bit late. I'm not guaranteed to start the stream on time. So this is Guardian Crusade. This is one you requested, Blades. I don't actually have Threads of Fate, so we won't be doing that anytime soon, although I must admit Threads of Fate looked quite a nice live action RPG, so I'll be giving that a whirl when I can. This I believe is more a Final Fantasy RPG, so let's give it a whirl. Good morning, wake up, enter name. That's the default name, Knight. That's your default name, Knight. Yeah, let's just call him the default name. I won't be saving this. Yes, I'll call him Knight. Get up, let's go. I hope you all had a good day today. It's going to be interesting. I've been busily just finishing off the video I've been working on for the past. Just to see this. Oh, it does support analog. Okay, because this is a 1998 game. It does actually support the analog PS1 pad. Nice. I'm playing this on a PS2, I will say, so I don't know if there may be some graphical anomalies that are not present when playing on a PS1. I am playing the PAL version, which some people may be shrieking at the mere mention of the PAL version, but it's the only version we have, and it's a lot easier to collect PAL games in Europe than it is to collect Japanese. Ooh, I'll just bring that down a bit because the screen's... This is actually looks like it might be partly optimised because the screen is... Okay, there we go. There we got full screen picture. So items, equipment, Nihanai. Ah, Nihanai's the fairy. The mayor was looking for you. We better go talk to him. Yep. So this is a nice 3D camera angle. Okay, very much reminds me a bit of Grandeur actually. So I'm going to be honest. This is not the best looking PS1 RPG. That's for sure. Contradiction with yesterday. Yes, that is a very frustrating game at times, Heart of Darkness. Not a particularly long game, but can be quite frustrating. Oh, we can search things, so I can do the Shining Force search. Basically the classic RPG, search everything in the house. Oh, that's her house. Yeah, I did see quite a few people also say this is a bit of a hidden gem. I must admit, looking at Threads of Fate, I think I'd prefer to play Threads of Fate, because I do like live-action RPGs, watching the videos of that, and that's suddenly gone from one that I wasn't too aware of to, yeah, I should pick up a copy of that one. Or one of the other randomised gaming team members. In fact, this is not technically my copy, this is actually Dragoon's, so... This is not one I picked up myself. Got some quite nice relaxing music, so... We've got full 3D camera. It does have to say it's got full analog control, which is very nice. Nice and smooth. Something the Final Fantasy VIII remaster didn't have, as they'd used the PC version, which didn't have analog. Final Fantasy VIII is a weird one. They managed to lose the source code and still haven't bothered to properly rebuild it, so we're still waiting on a definitive version, and the remaster was plagued with a few problems, which was a bit unfortunate. It's not a bad remaster though, at least it's better than nothing, so to speak. But yeah, you want a version that the remaster was a weird PC hybrid and had poor intros as well, as they were using low resolution versions of the original PC ones. In fact, I could edit the videos myself for Final Fantasy VIII and produce higher quality compressed files than the ones included in the game. That's not a good sign when a YouTuber can do that. Although technically I'm an industry professional, but my professionality was not editing footage. Okay, so I've got to speak to the mayor. This table is used for drying laundry. The question is, where is the mayor? It's reminding me a bit of Holy Magic Century on the N64, or what was it called? Quest 64 and Ether Tales, I think. Oh, the fairy's telling us we can't steal stuff. That makes a change from RPG. So normally you get to loot people. I just always love the fact in RPGs you can just walk into people's houses and just loot them. Oh, rusted toy. With us. Okay, maybe we'll be using it for something. Smile inherited from courage inherited from your father. So our equipment. Although one thing I will say, just because it's included on Hidden Gems list doesn't necessarily mean the game's a gem. Better go talk to him. Yes, where is the mayor, Nahai? Is this the mayor? Morning Light, I was looking for you. San Clary. think I will dig up a Mega Boost tomorrow, because it's also a game I've not played that much, and it's different to the other ones we streamed this week, which is always nice. That wasn't your house. So it's always, I like to do with our streaming, I like to do a nice mix. I don't like to just do the same type of game and genre. I like to keep a nice good mix up, so we're just streaming. It's very serene at the moment, so... One thing I will say, I think the houses are a little bit empty. There's not that many people in there. Having been playing Wild Arms just before Christmas, I did need to finish Wild Arms as well on the PS2, the PS1. I was playing through Wild Arms 2. In fact, I only just really started Wild Arms 1. That was really good. Okay, can we find his cat, or is it just missing? I'm probably the worst RPG gamer to stream, because I like to explore every nook and cranny when it comes to an RPG. So I would be, I mean, literally some of the games I've played through have taken me hundreds of hours. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I did it in 30. And like, yeah, I've spent the time to actually explore the whole game. Which may not be the most enjoyable thing to watch if you are streaming. Oh, bridge. I didn't go over this side. What's this side? Get a snack from Mary as well. So where's Mary? So there's not many people living in this village. I can't seem to find many. We've got... a nice little community here in this village with about 5 or 6 people. Right, there is actually a map in the manual, so I'm just going to consult it. Okay, looks like it's west of... I assume this is Origo Village. Right, here are the other villages. Yeah, I must be. Generally, I'm going to be honest, the standard of RPGs on the PS1 is very, very high. So, in fact, there aren't many RPGs on the PS1 that are actually that bad. I think because they were such a high standard, because at the time the Japanese were incredibly good, coming off the back of the Super Nintendo era where they made a lot. Ooh, treasure chest. Cute toy. We've got a rusted toy and a cute toy. Sure we can use for something. I did see the combat and stuff can get quite advanced later. I'm just going to check the settings. You've got fast battle mode as well. For now I'll keep that off, but if battles are a bit slow I'll turn it on. No sign of this algo they all keep mentioning, but let's venture on. Yeah, I've been streaming 22 minutes and I've not got into a battle, but that's the thing, I always like to explore an RPG, so... Why are you looking at the mailbox? There's no mail in it. So I'm probably the worst person to stream, but I just want someone who likes to explore every nook and cranny in the game to make sure... Oh, and we have monsters. There's a rather trippy effect. 3D battle time. I'm liking the music, I must say. Ooh, that hurt. I can't work out if the graphics are really simple or if they tried to stylize them with a slight pastiche style, but I don't think it's come across that well. It looks like it's been done a bit on the cheap. Yeah, Wild Arms 2 is a fantastic game. I need to actually get back to that. I've got about 3 or 4 PS1 games on the go at the minute. I think Wild Arms 2 is the first one I really sat down and properly played. It's just a shame that was another one that didn't get released in Europe. Little Worm. I'm digging the music, I have to admit. And yeah, the combat, I mean, it's your classic Final Fantasy style. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a little bit generic, but... Oh, we got a level up. Oh, that's handy. Max HP up 8 points. Next level 33. It does feel a very mellow RPG, I have to admit. I should say another thing I'm really bad at is I love to fight. I played through so many Japanese RPGs, and despite the fact I can't read Japanese that well, I live for the battles in RPGs. I've got some rubble. Not exactly the most inspiring items to broken toys, rubble. Yeah, spot on Blades of Mer. I would totally agree. It does look low budget in comparison, especially considering this is quite a late PS1 RPG. I did check, it was 98, it was the earliest it actually got released, so it's actually quite, I was surprised that Activision actually released it. I mean, just to read you on the back, the blurb on the back of the box: guard destiny with your life. The Golden Tower, a majestic symbol of hope to the world, but beyond its walls lurks a being that could destroy all. Evil forces are already in motion as the tower cries out for a hero. Now destiny calls on you, a young knight charged with the care of a magical baby creature of mysterious origins. Prepare to face fantastic foes in a quest that leads to the cradle of all evil. Dun dun dun! Then you've got a quote from Game Republic, a beautifully animated, inventive, and metalliciously detailed RPG from the creators of Deshinden. Why would you use a word like metalliciously? Yeah, I'll give that quote a miss. Meticulously detailed RPG from the creators of Deshinden. That's my rubbish pronunciation. Meticulously detailed. Oh, 9 rubies, not rubble. Yeah, I'm very much... Oh, it's the exploration, yeah, battles. Yeah, strangely, I'm the same. Story's actually the least important thing for me. It's more about being able to explore, fight, and then there's normally a cool story as well. I think Grandeur, even though I played through Grandeur on the Saturn and I couldn't understand, you kind of got the gist of the story, and that was one game of the story, even though I couldn't understand a word of it as I played through it back in about 2002. It just kept me totally gripped to the end, even though it was you just having to look at the cutscenes, but you could work out what was going on roughly. Ooh, another level up. We seem to have a bit of a quiet Steam tonight, so I guess not every game's going to be as popular as some others. I think Heart of Darkness is becoming a bit of a cult classic these days. But this isn't bad. I must admit, I'm quite liking what I've played so far. Ooh, tail whip. We've got a monkey with a giant tail. Probably going to have to use that healing item in a second, just to be on the safe side, because I don't want to enter a fight with really low health and then get taken out. Yeah, I'm probably battle, exploration, story for me on RPGs. There's just something about I just love RPG battling, and I've completely disorientated with the 3D camera rotation. So I think I've spun the camera 360, so I need to go the other way. I actually have to dig out and see if I can find where a Mega Boost is hiding. Actually, the worstest thing that could possibly happen on a stream is we do have quite a few games that members of the team have not particularly played that. I've not particularly played that much, and I always dread having what I call a surprise where you find out you've bought a game that's broken or damaged and doesn't play, and we have had that occasionally where you've got about halfway through the game, it then crashes and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy another copy now. I know you can get games cleaned, and we've tried in the past, but every time we've ever had a game cleaned, I don't think we've ever had once where we've cleaned the game and then the game's worked after it's been cleaned. Usually it's always some dreaded horrible fault that's just knackered the disc completely. I'm just going to use that item. Oh, so we've got space for multiple characters, obviously as the story progresses. Oh, some nice beach here with some sort of octopus creature. So obviously, this where you're on the map actually changes the scenery, which is always nice to see. Always a hallmark of a nicely made RPG. I think, you know, they've actually gone for a pastel style look, but it looks like it's but it kind of makes it look like it's quite basic graphics. The Japanese cover I noticed had a very pastel look, pastiche look. The PS1's probably not a console that can pull a style like that off. It just didn't have the horsepower. I mean, modern consoles could do a very pastel style, and yeah, I haven't actually seen a game that's really used it to great effect. I was hoping Street Fighter might do something like that. They were kind of getting there with a couple of the later ones, but then they did Street Fighter 5. Oh well. Street Fighter 5 is not my most popular Street Fighter, in case you didn't gather from my response. But I'm not here to talk about fighting games today. So yeah, very blocky as well. I think they've tried to stylize it this way. So it's... I just think there's a camera controls, but I don't think you can change the camera angle. Ooh, that's a different ghost. Oh, they're starting to run, the monsters. Ah, I wonder if it's because I'm levelling up some enough. That's always a nice sign if they've got a mechanic where you level up so the enemies start running away. I did see a couple of people saying this because I did research the game. Apparently it's got quite a good story that goes out over time and eventually it all ties in nicely at the end. I think this might be partly PAL optimised actually. It's certainly not... It's certainly much bigger than normal full screen, unless it's basically like a full screen game on NTSC. So, but yeah, it's actually quite. It's one of those games that's actually quite nice on the power. It doesn't feel sluggish. And some games when you play, you can just instantly feel that they're not optimized and just feel sluggish. I mean, case in point, just about any Mega Drive game. You play something like Streets of Rage, it felt like you were trudging through treacle on any of the PAL versions. Based on what I know, I believe you do find more party members as you go on. In fact, I can tell you from the back of the box, there's at least 2-3 characters in one fight, so... Taifu, Wrath of the Tiger. I'm just looking at the on the back of the manual. There's an advert for Taifu, Wrath of the Tiger. I just wondered if that was any good on the PS1. Whether it's actually one worth picking up for randomization at some point. Ah, we finally. Okay, we have a town down the street. A town of what I'd describe as one-eyed cyclopses. Actually, it's quite nice that you've got a fully... so the fact the overworld and all the locations are mingled together is really, really nice. Oh, so there was a sign there. West East Grave Road. It's actually... So that's actually quite impressive, the fact everything's in the same environment. We don't have a HUD map. It's all together. So that's actually... It's rare to see a game where... Only the original Star Ocean did that. The original Star Ocean on Super Nintendo did that fantastically. Sadly, the remake on PSP and the subsequent PS4 port and that is an abomination compared to the original SNES game. No, I won't be saving game data because I don't have a memory card in. Actually, it's actually quite a nice game. It reminds me a little bit of Mario RPG as well. For some reason. Shouldn't. It's not. But it's similar. I think they could do a few more NPCs to talk to in this. It's a very sort of quaint RPG is how I'd describe it. Yeah, it's got quite a nice sort of classic RPG soundtrack, so... They are all like weird Cyclops creatures, the villagers in this one. So they're having bad fishery and your village is having a bad farming. Do you think something bad is happening in the world? It's catching furfish. There's a little bit of predictable plot going on, but it's quite a nice... And get a wind-up toy. What do we do with all these toys I'm collecting? Okay, that's weird. I think my analytics has died because it's only telling me there's one viewer on the stream, but it's saying we currently have at least 3 concurrent. I've never seen that number change. Oh, and hey guys, as always, if you like our videos, please do hit that subscribe button. It does very much help. Subscribe or the like button, I should say. So do hit the like button if you want us to keep producing content, blah blah blah, you know. It just helps the videos with the rankings, so... Oh, buy candy bar. Oh, are they items, the toys? Notes of 10. Peach potion. Angel tear. What if I can sell the toys? Nope, obviously he's a toy collector, son. Unless they're for another character, the toys. Oh, they are Cyclops. I was going to say one-eyed fisherman. So I'm hoping this is the mayor's house. I'm going to hazard a guess I'm going to have to go down Grave Road to fix this broken bridge they've mentioned. Okay, let's see if he's up the top here. Is this the mayor's house? Oh yes, I'll walk down the stairs. Yeah, that's an issue with YouTube. I noticed that myself. If I hit the like button, it will give you 2 likes. And then it will only eventually turn out to be 1 in the final one. It's a weird bug at the minute. Probably should report it, actually. It'll basically give you 2 likes, then it will actually then turn down to 1. Thanks for letting me know, Blades. Yeah, weirdly, my top half of my analytics, I think, has absolutely failed because it's not showing likes, it's not showing the concurrent viewers. It's just stuck at 1 and 0. And yet, I can see from my other stream, it's saying I've got at least two viewers at present, and we've had 3, so... so Origo. Ah, yes, vegetables. Knight, you can tell. There's nothing to worry about. It's just a coincidence that our villagers are having bad seasons. The furfish will come back eventually and all. Fine, just tell him that he is worrying too much. I could, of course, do an acting sort of voice. She goes, I don't have to do that. I do something like this. A few bad vegetables do not mean the world is coming to an end. It must be his old age catching up with him. If he had his way, he would make everybody carry emergency food. Supplies every time they left the town. You have to cheer up your mare. Doing a slightly overdramatic voice as such. You shouldn't drink other people's water. Okay, so I'm guessing I've got to go back to Origo then. Because we know they've mentioned the bridge is out, so we won't be able to go... So yes, all the fur fish are vanishing. So I think the plot's going to be fairly predictable for now. Oh, there's actually multiple dialogues. So that's one thing with RPGs. Some RPGs characters have different. Some characters would traditionally only have 1 dialogue, but the later games you'd often get 2, 3, or 4 dialogues from certain characters. What does this gentleman here say? The whole village is worried about the lack of furfish this year. No furfish, no food, no tourism, no fur tonics. Oh, no fur tunics. Just to sort of spice it up a bit, but I won't do much more voice acting. I'm what you would call between jobs right now. They fired me because there's no furfish to catch. Yes, unfortunately I think that's going to be happening a lot in the real world, sadly. Okay, so that is the village. I don't think there's much more we can do in the village. I think we've got to head back. The mayor was a bit... The mayor of San... What was that called? So, Origo San Claria was a bit vague. So let's head back and talk to the mayor of Orgo. Yes, they're all running away from me now. That's quite nice. The music's actually really good. Fight! So I am one of those I am the worst. I said I'm the worst RPG player to stream because I love fighting enemies. So I will literally pursue enemies even when they're below me just to steal their XP. Now, are these guys actually giving me XP? Because if this, or is this something like Shining Force where when you're well above enemies, they don't give you XP. Let's find out. About 7 or 8, I imagine it should be. Oh, only 12 experience, so yeah. Oh, we got level up as well. Nice. So still getting quite a lot of experience from next level up. So yeah, it's not actually, the level ups are all pretty... You're not having to grind that much to get level ups in this. That's quite nice. It is actually fairly laid back. Oh, hello there, little friend. Young man. How does she go? More tragedy. Young man, destiny is calling. For you to deliver, you must deliver this baby to its mother. You will find her in God's tower. If you fail, darkness will prevail, and all that you know and love will be lost. I pray for your success. Quality RPG dialogue there. Yes, I would agree, Blades. It's one of the interesting things is, having worked in the industry myself, a lot of developers back in the 32-bit era and even the 16-bit, they were always trying to push the game and push the levels of the technology because they only had finite limits. So they really wanted to try and basically improve what they could, and would often develop techniques to improve their gameplay and how the game looked and played. That's something you kind of miss now, because people, you have so much, and they said a lot, when I've worked with a lot of people in modern games, said you've got so much memory, so much RAM now, there's not really any limits, and that kind of makes people a bit lazy with not optimizing their code. Let's go ask them it. So we've got a little friend. I love this. He's so just basically stating the obvious. So a man appeared out of thin air in a beam of light and told you to take that little pink monster to God's tower. I see. Did you eat any weird things on the way? you probably were poisoned and dreamed the whole thing. No, it really... Oh yes, there's a little furry. Oh, brutal. I wanted to get rid of the poor thing. Yeah, they don't push their limits, so... And especially because back in them days you had to build your own coding tools and programming, so you had to master it. Admittedly, it was a much hard profession. It's more accessible to develop a game now. You can literally go back to developing a game from your bedroom. During the... And often during the 90s and 80s you had to build your own software and use the sort of base programming, whereas the 90s you can now build by the time we got to the 2000s you started having a lot more indie stuff, and then it sort of really peaked, so you can rebuild your you can basically now download. I mean, you can download Unity, you can download Unreal Editor to make your game. I guess it was an illusion despite the fact the little friendly monsters following you around. But I'm glad in some ways that you can now make a game from... You can now make a game from literally your home again, because it's something we needed to be able to do. There was one stage where during the sort of early 2000s, basically unless you were a proper setup company, you just you could not develop games unless you were doing really obscure PC stuff, and even then the tools weren't readily available to make them, so you were relying on raw coding languages. These days I think you have missed the trick by people using existing engines, and then you're using tools, and it does make things a bit samey, and people who come up to the problems with the engine, you'll often find that things you want to do you can't do within the engine, and that's something you are not necessarily programming to encounter with coding, because if you're just coding an engine yourself, then basically the limits are what you code and the limits are the console. So there's a bit of a difference now, but it certainly made it more accessible to develop games. I know I've actually downloaded Unity myself, as I really do want to get back into... I keep meaning... understand games incredibly well because I have a design head, so I should actually get round to designing something at some point, and now is kind of the perfect time. Already the mayor I think is mean and horrible if he wants to throw our little companion away. I do think there is a slight issue with a lack of imagination. I did work on some indie titles and I got slightly annoyed with the artists because we were doing things on PlayStation Home and they were copying, because they hadn't done indie stuff before, we literally copied Mega Man's sprite, and it really annoyed me. And it's stuff like that I just hate. I mean, I couldn't say too much because they're all good kids, but I just felt there was a slight lack of imagination with actually creating characters and the visuals, because you do need a really good imagination. I'm someone with a really vivid imagination. I can picture whole worlds and everything and design structures, but it's not something everyone has. And you also need to have to be a bit careful because you do need to be aware of subconsciousness, so you don't want to find you're subconsciously imagining something you've actually seen in a game previously and things like that. But it's the right balance and having the imagination to actually produce something original and interesting. Although sadly the stuff I worked on PlayStation Home is now long gone, so I can't even tell you much about it. I don't even think the stuff's been videoed. I should have videoed it when I had the capture unit and PS Home was still around, because everything I worked on PlayStation Home is now long gone. Oh, so we can't... Our friend is not fighting yet. So the Japanese name is known as Night and Baby, hence they're actually the two character names, whereas here it's Guardians Crusade. I suppose it's a bit more relevant, Guardians Crusade. I get what it means, Protector's Crusade or Protector's Journey. So actually it's quite a good variant on the Japanese title. Yeah, there are a lot of indie games that really annoy me, especially when they... I mean, that's why I've been quite picky on some of the indie games we've actually played and looked at, because I like indie people doing original, interesting ideas, not generically copying Mario, not generically copying Star Wars, not generically copying Ghostbusters. And it annoys me when I'm seeing indie games that, I mean, case in point, I recently picked up Dreams, or Dragoon actually picked up Dreams on the PS4, and I was playing that, and the amount of people that have no imagination, and what they do, they produce a level of Mario with Mario jumping and music, not particularly good levels of Mario, none of them as good as the actual Nintendo games, and it's just a complete lack of imagination. You know, you can do anything, and you copy Mario, or you copy X-Men, you copy... whatever. It just infuriates me. It just shows a real lack of imagination. If you're a designer and you want to get somewhere, don't do that. If you want to make a fan mod, fine, for a game, then make it a fan mod. Don't, in a game where you're supposed to do creative things, create your own games. Don't just make a Mario clone or make a stage based on a Mario level. There's just lack of originality. The only thing that's actually any good for is for learning the ropes. So if you take a game that you know, it's quite good to actually make a level based on it, just to get used to how the thing controls and works. But certainly don't go then publish those levels and things like that, because it's just infuriating. I mean, I actually started making an RPG many years ago, and I still got the code, well, the base code for it. I did it in RPG Maker. I should go back. But basically, I was trying to make something a bit more interesting. We did a couple of cutscenes, so an interesting story coming along, and it was like, yeah, I need to... Still got the whole premise of the game tucked away in the head. The only annoyance I had was I wanted to make a live-action RPG, but RPG Maker, you couldn't really do a live-action one. You had to do a sort of turn-based one. I'm just going to stop in San Clair again. I'm going to speak to the mayor, see if he has different advice here. This was the mayor's house, wasn't it? Or was it the one on the hill? Oh, and the fairy wants a closet to put her dresses in. I mean, ultimately, if you're an indie developer, I will say that you do need to look at how, certainly if you're going to do a pixel art game, pick your style, because one of the issues you do face with pixel art is you need to remember the very best pixel art was released in the 2000s of the video games, and you are competing against that pixel art. So if you want to make a real, I mean, I would say to any developer, look at that pixel art and then look at how you can beat it. But a lot of pixel developers I see are still learning the ropes, and their artwork is still well below that of even sort of 80s Amiga games often. But I appreciate a lot of developers have got to learn the ropes, so it's not always, you're not going to be able to produce the very best, but you need to have an aim goal for where you want to be, and you need to look at the best. If you want to be the very best in the industry, you need to look at the very best that was made as sort of 2D pixel art games, and then you need to better it. And if you want to be a strong developer, look at the very best in the industry and aim to make better than it, and that's how you become a truly fantastic developer. And that's my advice. If you're a budding, aspiring developer, aim to be the best and aim to beat the best. And don't settle for second best as well. Don't rush stuff. Spend the time. Do patch it. Do fix it. Do get it all out and complete before you release it as well. But we have actually, I mean, I have, saying that, I have played some really good indie games. One of them I played the other year, and we did a video review of it, and I'm going to recommend it again just because it was actually a very enjoyable title, was Immortal Darkness Curse of the Pale King. I should say we were sent a Steam code, but that was a really, really good Diablo-style clone, really good. And if you like live-action sort of Diablo games, that was actually a very good title, and that one really impressed me, and that I don't think it's done that well in the shop looking at the sales. It's a shame because it's a really nice title, but there's so many games on Steam and they're all competing for shop space at the minute, which is an issue, I think, with a lot of developers. But we do have a few on the channel. There's a couple of others I won't actually mention anymore. I shouldn't really mention them in streams because some of them if we've covered them, but basically look at our indie stuff and you'll see we've got some really good games as well. There was a shooter we did as well, which is very good. I'm just not going to say too much because we often get sent review code, but basically look on the channel, look for our videos and see if you like some of the indie stuff, if you actually want to pick up indie titles. This isn't bad at all, actually, Guardians Crusade. It's not. I'm going to be honest. It's not visually the best game, but the fact the world is seamless is a really, really nice touch. It's rare to see that in an RPG. As I said, I think only the original Star Ocean had that, but not the remake, and that's why I loathe the PSP remake. And the fact that was the version they used for. I suspect the reason is they've probably lost the source code for the Super Nintendo version, which is just unexcusable, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. Because the original the original couple of Star Ocean games are absolutely fantastic, but the sequels just aren't a patch on it. The first three, so that's the one on the SNES, the one on the PlayStation, and the one on the Game Boy Color, which are the first three made by the original team, are all fantastic games. They were largely made by many of the staff that worked on Tales of Phantasia as well, from Namco, because Wolf Team, who did Tales of Phantasia, a lot of them left to form Triace or Triarch. I can't quite remember the studio's name. I think it's Triace. And so Star Ocean really is the successor to Tales of Phantasia. I'm enjoying them. So basically, early impressions, first hour, so we're sort of covering up the first hour now. I know I've been a bit slow wandering around. Visually, I think they've gone for a very basic style. whether that's intended or whether that was just that they kept things simple. So visually, it's not the best looking PS1 game. It's not perhaps the most. So it doesn't have the most. Yeah, the original Star Ocean was seamless on PS1 Blades of Mer. It's all just a huge 2D landscape. It's fantastic. Play the SNES version. You play the SNES version, the pixel art in that looks 100 times better than the follow-up. I highly recommend just grab the SNES version via any just play the SNES version. It's a fantastic. Or just watch a YouTube video on it. In fact, I attempted to actually cover that on Super Nintendo for a day. It's just the original Star Ocean is a phenomenal game on Super Nintendo, and it just looks 100 times better than the PSP remake. So. But yeah, that's the only other seamless RPG I can think of. So as I said, this has actually given me good impressions. Admittedly, it's not the most epic game, so to speak. I mean, it's not throwing me in the deep end like some of the Final Fantasies. It's not the best visual game. It is a very simplistic style. Perhaps that's intended. I suspect this was probably aimed at younger gamers, but I think it could be a bit more detailed. But it plays well. It's got analog controls. The music's quite chilled and relaxed as well. I'm enjoying the music, listening to it. The gameplay is very nice. Battle, I mean, there was a fast battle option, but the battles are actually pretty quick. So at the minute, my comrade is just running off at the minute. He will be able to stay and fight later on. Got some nice little monsters we're battling. I wonder if we'll get to a boss in the near future. I might hang around for a few minutes to see if we can actually get to a boss. Because it's always nice to end a stream on something like a boss fight. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what you think if you play the original Super Nintendo one, whether you think, once you play that, because I cannot play the PSP remake of Star Ocean. I bought it. I spent 10 minutes on the PSP remake and just thought this is absolute garbage and just put it down and never picked it up again. It was so disappointing. I was expecting a remake with all the features of it, and it was just horrible, the PSP remake of Star Ocean. I mean, it's an alright game. If you haven't played it, it's a goodish version-ish. Well, it's not a very good version. It's average. It's not particularly good, but I think it's basically. I have a suspicion they don't have the original Super Nintendo source code, so I couldn't port the SNES version. Because ideally, you could port the SNES version and actually, because of how the scenes move around and start mixing and matching the scenes. But this, I just said the visual's quite basic. I have been poisoned. Am I still poisoned? Can I check status? Or am I not poisoned now? It's poisoned only in battle. Some games you were poisoned on the world map. I think this was definitely aimed for younger gamers. Okay, so here's the cave. We've got to get rid of our buddy. No, don't leave him. He's going to be our main friend. Goblin? You can't leave him. Don't go, little friend. Right, we're going to rescue in there. Star Ocean 2 is very good on the PS1. The Valkyrie Profiles is a very good port, I understand. I think they threw in a few extras. I think the only thing there might be is some terrible danger, do not enter. Yep, we got a boss. Okay, I'm going to stick around. I'm quite enjoying this, so I'll actually stick around for do this first boss fight then. Because a couple of these videos I may well redo on the channel just to have them up in 4K. gonna go. I just feel this feels wrong. No, we don't want to leave our friend there. Let's go save him. Rescue him. We've got to rescue him in 10 minutes anyway. Let's just get to the rescue now. Valkyrie Profiles was a very good port, I believe. The only thing, I think maybe some slight issues with the aspect ratio, but overall it was. I haven't actually played the PSP version of Valkyrie Chronicles. I'm just trying to remember if I managed to get a Japanese version or not. I certainly don't have a US version of it. But yeah, Valkyrie Chronicles is really good. As is the sequel, which I've got on PS2. Okay, this is a bit annoying. In fact, I'm going to have to trek all the way home. And then I'm going to have to go and then come back and rescue him again. Oh, come on. They're telling us to go home. Okay, so this is a little bit frustrating. I want to get to the boss fight. I want to go save her. I'm expecting to hear an almighty roar. And then it's like, we got to go save him. Or the old man's going to appear again. What are you doing, knight? Go save your little friend. I won't fight any of them. I'll just get to the pre-scripted event. Come on, move. We've got to save him. We need our buddy to help the fight with us. So yeah, the story perhaps a little bit predictable. Yeah, it's a little bit like, oh, we're just going to leave him there. It's like a bit mean. That was just me saying, but basically I expected probably about 10 minutes gameplay. And okay, and we're dreaming again of our little friend. Yeah, so we're going to get this cutscene again. There's obviously... You can't leave him. We're dreaming this. Knight, what are you doing? Young man, destiny is calling. So we're re-seeing this scene again. That's an odd way to... Yes. Okay, so that's a completely unneeded section of gameplay. But basically, yeah, what is a figure of speech I was saying, it takes about 10 minutes. I'm literally right. It's going to take me about 10 minutes to go there, rewatch the scene where you have a moral guilt trip, and then go back and rescue him. What really should have happened is the little fella should have gone in, you should have walked back a bit, massive roar, then you're saying you're not going to leave him there or something. That's how I would design it. So basically there's some sort of menacing threat and like, we can't leave him. Yeah, very, very predictable game design. Effectively I've got to now go back and just rescue him. But yeah, that stuff like that's not so good because it just adds in So we'd literally gone back home, and now we're going to have to go back again to... We dumped him, we've gone to the village. We've dumped him at the cave, we've gone back. We now have to go back and save him. Okay, I'll actually be putting up some pictures of the randomised gaming blog of the Japanese cover, because it's really nice, the Japanese cover of the manual. Okay, so this, yes, this is where I want to be going. So down here, it's time to rescue our little friend. But yeah, I am one. If I was doing this, if I wasn't streaming, I would not be missing a single fight. I'd just be fighting everything along the way. I'm that type of RPG player. I love to be over leveled. But as I'm streaming, I'm missing one or two enemies. As long as I've got decent enough levels, there's nothing worse than being totally underpowered. I know some people love it, and there is a challenge in being able to defeat bosses, etc., when you're quite a substantial way below. Put me in good stead, another level up. Fairy will always be with me, that's nice. Q boss fight. Got some very chilled out music in this cave. Oh, and the enemy's already running from us because I'm so over leveled. That's nice. Actually, it's quite nice you have the enemies are running from you. Got some worm and an anteater by the looks of it. There's very sort of not quite your traditional RPG soundtrack. The music's quite easily listening to. It's actually very nice. So, based on first impressions, would I say this is a hidden gem? I'd say it's not a bad little game. I wouldn't say, to me, this doesn't strike me as a gem so far, because it's not. It's a nice little title. It's a well-made, solid little game, but I don't feel it a hidden gem to me. Something that's a really good game that just didn't get the recognition it deserves. This is a good title that probably didn't sell particularly well, as it was bested by many titles. I think if I was to give an example of a hidden gem on the PS1, yeah, I think I will be absolutely annihilating the boss when I find it. I'm going to try and find him and then I'll wrap up this stream. Bearaphant. Okay, that's an interesting name for these little creatures. Got some nice animation. Reminds me a bit of Kingsley, actually, the art style. Which we streamed the other day. Just see there's chests around here. Okay, there's nothing more fun than being able to destroy a boss in an RPG, that I will say. Oh, treasure chest there. Actually, that's a candy bar. Is that a door? No. No, fine. Okay, so the levelling up system in this is really quick, so you know, I might actually save this because I've already level 10, so I might dig out a PS1 save card in a minute. The music is really laid back. You've got a bit of harmonica playing there. Really good, the music. Really, really good. Okay guys, just a nice reminder, I know we've got a couple of you on the stream at the minute, it'd be great if you could hit that like button to help support this video, as that will bump it up in the rankings. So if you do enjoy this video, please do hit that. You enjoyed my commentary on Guardian Crusade, please do hit the like, Guardians Crusade I should say, please do hit that like button and support us. This video does help with the rankings, where it will futurely rank this. The one thing I will say, because I'm doing these stream ones, what I might do is do playthroughs on a lot of the games we've been streaming next week. So basically, I'm about to finish a huge review video that I've been speaking about for. It's done. I'm hoping it'll be up. I'm hoping I'll be able to get it uploaded tomorrow, and I'm hoping it will go live Friday lunchtime. Oh, we got multiple. Okay, some nice giant skull there. We've got a cool toy. Oh, a bronze shield is that? Is that better than my current shield? It is! This is very chilled out, this music in this cave. I think I might be listening to the soundtrack for this tomorrow. I do listen to a lot of game soundtracks, especially if they're very good. Okay, let's see if I can find the boss and then I will finish the stream. So rule number 1 in RPG, if you go one way and you find an additional exit, go the other way and see what's that way. So I'm hopeful one of these ways will be a dead end, just like chests or something. And hey presto! You've got an item mysterious toy. Yes, the advantage of being an RPG veteran. Got that way. So just come out of that one, and the exit here was down this way, wasn't it? He should have magic, doesn't he? He should actually have some. It says I've got PP power. Fight. I can actually fight myself as well. Yes, I can attack myself. That's a bit weird. Maybe it's the Final Fantasy thing, you can knock yourself out of like confusion and stuff. Oh, she actually has magical. She can actually. So I assume PP is the magic ability, but at the minute I can't use anything as Knight. So whether that's the other characters. Okay, right, let's do this. This is screaming boss to me now. Actually, I'll try and ignore fighting the enemies now, seeing as I kind of want to wrap it up in the near future, so... Ooh, what on earth are these little chaps? Eek, more chatting with... Oh, so we've got another dungeon. We've got a nice little underground dungeon here. Okay, I might wrap this up then if we don't hit a boss then. We've actually got another village underground. Oh, we've got the Elder who's These sort of weird mice creatures. Okay, so we are going to get a boss fight. So the question is, where is the pink monster eating things? So I'm just going to eat a candy bar. So the only thing being the first time I played this, I'm not sure where the monster is. Or was it the other end of the area that we were just walking down? Right, so where is that boss then they keep talking about? It's got to be here. So this thing keeps saying the storage tent. It would be quite handy if there was a character that told you which way to the storage. There's a compass in the corner, but that's not really directing me to where I need to go. I'm shooting the mushroom creatures the other side of one of the encampments. And one thing I will say is streaming when it's a warm day is not the best idea. I'm sweating buckets. Okay, is this to their... what they were talking about? So they give me some sort of item to enter. Oh, nice, got a nice big turtle. There's some really nice animation, I will say. It's very, very fluid. And although I'm playing the PAL version, I must admit it's not a game where I said I don't feel the speed loss at all. It still seems to play very nice. Some PAL games, in fact, I've even stretched the screen for you guys. Some games, if they're even NTSC games, when you're playing at 50 Hz, it's hard to tell they're slightly slower because of how the game plays. Other games, like fighters, really suffer. Basically, fast-paced games really suffer at 50 Hz. Slower games at RPGs. Oh, I didn't actually mean to hit the runaway button there. But we get a nice big picture of the... They use a lot of dithering in this, I will say. So... This location's actually getting pretty darn big as well. I was thinking it was going to be like a quick little cave, but obviously I was a bit wrong. Very much reminding me of Grandia now, and very much reminding me of Wild Arms 2 that I've been playing recently. Oh, that looked nasty, that attack. No, the music's really, really good. They've done a really good job of the music. If you see it pause here in the battles, it's because I'm literally skipping them as fast as possible. The music's really good. Yeah, the music is really... Okay, it's not letting me go this way. Obviously the baby dragon. Obviously you have to... So, somewhere, obviously the food stores, I assume they were in the little people's encampment, so I will run back there. That's one thing I'll say, the direction for where certain things aren't that clear. Because I went round that whole encampment and I couldn't see. I thought the food stores would be around there, but I couldn't seem to see them. So maybe they're up top or something. Because that was a dead end back there, and I assume that's where we're going to find our little friend. But I really do want to fight this first boss before I finish. So where is the food store, lads? Yeah, I know you're hiding from it, but where is it actually lurking? I need to fight it. Ah, there it is. I missed that. Okay, that's my bad. Yeah, a couple of games you often... I'm always very cautious. I'm always very cautious in dungeons with RPGs because you never wanted to miss a room in case you had a case of where the dungeon got blown up and you wouldn't be coming back. Go in. I should have gone in here earlier. Well, I explored the bit where we're obviously going to be heading in a minute, where I'll mention. Carol! It's not really what I call a menacing monster. At least not from the look of it, or is it about to get big? Shall we see how many turns it takes me to destroy this thing? Mushmare. I think it'll just go down in like one hit. Nope. This is a proper boss fight. Seeing as I've got the enhanced sword, I'm probably going to demolish this thing. Three turns. Should have actually gone and kept in the inn just before I finished. Got an iron sword. And let's go tell the Eldar the good news. We beat the boss and we absolutely trounced the boss. Ah, is this what you do with all the toys? We've got another mysterious dungeon. Actually, this area looks slightly better than the initial area. The cave area is a bit more impressive. Oh, we've got a mystical temple with one little rock in there by the looks of it. There's another toy in the storeroom I should technically go back for. I'm just going to see if my friend is around here. Oh, we're going to be fighting more monsters. Oh, we're going to be battling more. Just going to do one quick battle, see if the toy's in combat. And then I'm going to finish, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we've got more monsters. LT, ah. It's fat. Ah, so that's they fight with you. Nice. So that's actually quite a nice little mechanic there. You summon them, they help you in battle. So this is where obviously the combat gets a bit more interesting. And I should have actually healed before I came out and fought this thing. Yeah, that's what I think. It does feel a sort of reflex, sort of feel good, nice. You know, I'm going to risk it, seeing it's going to be the end of the stream, so if I don't kill him, it'll be the end of me. Oh, so that's actually quite interesting. The toy mechanic's quite nice. I think there's one in the storeroom I should go back for as well. That's actually... So yeah, it's actually turning into quite a nice little game. Obviously they're introducing mechanics slowly but surely. So on first impressions, it's a nice game, but they're obviously introducing more mechanics as we go in. It's actually one I should probably spend a bit more time at another date. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to finish this stream, as I've been going on for, and it's getting close to 2 hours now. It's actually been quite a good, fun look at this title. Thanks for suggesting it, Blades of Mirror. It's actually one I should have sat down and played a few years back. It's actually quite a nice little title. So yes, early impressions, very nice little game. Not the most, I think, visually impressive RPG, but overall quite, it seems like mechanically it's going to get a bit deeper as well with the toys and everything. I will actually finish this stream there. You know, I might even go and save it now I've got this far in. But yes, overall, very impressive. So I will finish the stream now. I'm actually sweating buckets myself. I need to open some windows, get some fresh air. Then go out for a quick bit of fresh air in this time of night. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, Random Gamer Riven. And I will wish you a good night, a good evening, good afternoon, or a good morning, wherever you are in the world. This has been Guardians Crusade for the PlayStation 1, played on the PS2. Just to recap, it was released in 1998. It was developed by Tamsoft, and it was published by Tamsoft in Japan and published by Activision in the rest of the world. No worries, thanks for suggesting it as well. It's been a good fun to play. So I'm going to finish there. I will leave you. I will be back tomorrow in another stream. In fact, I will cover a Mega Boost tomorrow if I can dig it out. I think it's probably just behind me, so it shouldn't be too far away. I will finish it there then, but all the best. I will see you tomorrow. Good night for now.